Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Praise God. What's up? What's happening? Or whatever it is that you ascribe to. Dead eye. You ain't bigger than the mob. Dead eye. I just going. Oh, that's 4:30. So dead eye, he running the zone. I'm talking about he running that thing. He ain't doing it like with an iron fist because he kind of lax, but he got everything organized. You know what I mean? Like he he just doing a good job, man. I was rocking with Dead Eye for real. He was doing a real good job on holding his own down. But you in prison, bro. I don't care how positive some guys is. You still gonna have the ignorant knuckleheads. You understand what I'm saying? Whether they be GD, Vice Lord, or whatever. So this particular day, everybody on the zone. It's during the week, and everybody coming in from school. You know what I mean? Everybody going to the shower. Some people putting they some people that's coming from the school, they putting some of their older clothes on, because when you in prison, some people now, not all people, but especially if you're affiliated and you're a standing member. When you go to the school, or you go to the child hall, or when they have some kind of events or something like that, like you gonna be presentable. You gonna put on your good penitentiary clothes. I ain't no good penitentiary clothes for real, but y'all know, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. You gonna be creased up, you clean. You know what I mean? Smelling good, because the Muslims got the oils and whatnot. Then you got some people, they don't care how they look, whether they affiliated or not. But in most cases, the guy who over the zone, or the guy who over the penitentiary, they gonna make sure, if you ain't going to the yard or to the gym or nothing like that, like, you better be presentable, or you gonna get in some trouble, because that's part of the laws and policy in GD. That's one of the laws. I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but you gonna be presentable. But now you got some people, they just didn't care how they look. They feel like they in prison. They ain't no pretty boys. I ain't gotta wear all that. You know what I mean? So anyway, you got people coming back on the zone from school. They taking out their school clothes, like they in high school or something, taking out their school clothes, putting on some of their older clothes, what they call their basketball clothes or their workout clothes, and they getting ready for the eating the yard call. And so one of the brothers come in, because earlier that day, when it's something going on the compound. It might not happen in your building, but it's something going on, because you hear the radio, you can hear the radio, you hear the codes, and you see the officers, and you hear the keys, and you see the officers running out the door. Something happened. So one of the brothers came in, he went to Dead Eye, and he told Dead Eye, one of the brothers that was in our zone got caught balling on one of the school teachers. Dead Eye. Oh, that's 4:30. That's 4:30. So Dead Eye asking them, like, what they do. They took him to the hole. Now, sometimes when a person get caught doing that, and the officer or the teacher scream on them, that's what they call when you balling. And for those who don't know what balling is you jacking off. That's what they call it in Mississippi prison, balling. And I did a story about GD got balled up for balling on the officer. Y'all go check that story out. But yeah, that's what balling mean. And so Dead Eye was like, so sometimes they'll take them straight to the hole, or sometimes they'll just write him up and send him back to the zone, and then he'll get his what they gonna do to him at the disciplinary hearing. Yes, they got disciplinary hearings in prison. So the process is, you get rolled up, depending on what the offense is. If it's a major offense, your ass going straight to the hole, and then they'll write you up and deal with you. They'll bring the disciplinary to the hole. But if it's not no major offense, and this might be your first time getting a write-up, you know what I mean? They send you back to the zone, They'll write you up. They have somebody bring you to write up, and you either gonna sign it or you ain't gonna sign it. So this one of the time they sent bro back to the hole, but send him back to the zone. But he didn't come straight back to the zone. I guess they had him in the chief of security office somewhere in the administration building, talking to him or whatever. I don't know. But so bro come back to the zone, and as soon as he come through the door, good morning, America. So y'all already know when I say that, somebody finna get violated, somebody finna get put in that blender, or something finna happen. And so people on the zone, some people laughing, and some people ain't laughing, especially the GD, because the GDs already know what's going on. And so Deadeye, he didn't call no OD. Him and two of the enforcers, they went to Bruh Rack, and they hollered at him. And Deadeye told me, what they discussed afterwards. And so Deadeye asking the brother, did he do that? And the brother, he ain't denied. He was straight up. He was like, yeah, I did it, but it wasn't my first time though. G. It was my first time, man. I don't know if she was mad. I said, that don't matter. Now, you already know, you guys in prison, they be balling, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you if you ain't to just extreme and all out in the open with it. But we disciples, bro. We carry ourselves in a certain way, and you already know by the latest streaming on you about doing that, you already know you in violation, bro. You in violation. I already had the brother to write the paperwork up. I already got the paperwork up. Only thing you gotta do is sign it, and I'm gonna send it over to Big Dog and let him make a decision, and then we're gonna take it from there. So the brother like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take my lick like a man. But still though, G, I don't know why, cause I've been doing it, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know why she screamed on it. But let me go to a commercial break, if I may. Now, why is you in the classroom? You're in the classroom. I see if you was in the closet and you handling your business, but you in the classroom and you say you been doing this, and you got people around you, like other dudes around you. I mean, that's just weird. That's weird, bro. Like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? But that is a mental health issue in prison. Now, I ain't saying I ain't never did it. I done it, but the officer was cool with it, and I ain't do it all out in the open. You know what I mean? But that is a mental issue. You got guys in prison that will starve themselves. They will miss breakfast, they will miss lunch and dinner trying to get them trying to bust one. It's an illness, because why don't you just go on and do it and get off and go on about your business? But they want the officer to be looking at them while they busting off. You understand what I'm saying? And mind you, the toilet in the booth is you barely can, I don't think you can see that lady head. You really don't know if she looking at you or not. But guys be psyching themselves out like this lady is watching them now. If you got a lady in the tower that's really with it, she'll stand up and let you know she watching. Or if y'all real cool, y'all already got an understanding that when she come around and do the count, you fall to the toilet, and while she walking down the aisle with a toilet's at, she gonna be looking dead at you till you get off. Now, I done seen some officers go stand by the toilet at. Everybody watching, but they letting dude do what he do, and she'll just stand there Let him do what he gotta do, and then she'll go finish her count. Now you got some officers like, well, you got a mental illness too. You did. I'm talking about panic probably just so wet. But anyway, so I'm saying, like, they psych themselves out. You looking, I'm talking about, it gotta be at least half of a football field from the tower. The tower is dark, and you sitting on the toilet with your head up. You got dudes could be walking around, but they'll wait until, like I said, they'll miss breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When most people off the zone, where they can just, I'm talking about, be back there butt naked and, you know, doing their thing, looking at the tower, bro. Like, that is a mental issue. But anyway, so they call yard call. The brother didn't come out, and I'm thinking like, damn, he probably finna catch out, but he ain't catch out. And Dead Eye, he had already sent the paperwork, and I did the last video, and I called bro real name. I'm trying to stop doing it. He said I already sent the paperwork to Big Dog. So when they go in the yard, Big Dog told Dead Eye, man, I gave you that position for a reason, bro. If it ain't that serious, like, you don't have to come to me all the time. You make the decision. You got some good brothers over there with you that can, you know, you got Yaz over there with you. You know what I mean? He help you make the decision, but you don't have to come to me. I don't want to know about everything. You know what I mean? You just handle your business, G. You know what I mean? I'm going to let you make a decision on that. You know what I mean? So they're like, all right, so boom, y'all call over. We come back in the zone. They finna get ready to change shift. They come through, they do their shift change count. Soon the count cleared, everybody get off their rack. And it's crazy because, let me go to a commercial break, Mike. This is my last time. It's crazy when they do the count. Of course, you got to be on your rack when they come through and count so they can see everybody. But once they leave the zone, it depends on who the officer is. They will make us stay on our rack. Like, you can't even get up and go to the bathroom for real. But you know, some people, if they got to use, they gonna go. They don't care what the officer gonna say. But anyway, it's just crazy to me how they just make us sit on the rack. Like, where we gonna go? We can't go out the door unless you pop it. You know what I mean? I just thought about that. That's crazy. So soon as the count cleared, everybody fall off their rack and straight to the TV room the GDs go. So we all up in there. And, you know, bro, like I said, brother already accepted his violation. So everybody trying to see, you know, what Dead Eye gonna do to him. And, you know, Dead Eye handled it like I think a disciple should have handled it. Like, you know, he ran into like, bro, I know you're in prison. You know, I know, you know, you got some guys that got officers. They can go have sex, but I know you can't have sex. You a man. I know you handling your business. You know what I mean? But like I told you earlier, once you get screamed on, bro, you and this glorious organization, people just used to put too much on it, for real. But you and this glorious organization, bro, we carry ourselves like disciples. We carry ourselves in a certain way. So you got to get violated. But I ain't gonna let nobody punch on you this time. Now, if it happen again, bro, you know you're gonna have to get punched on. It ain't gonna be no disciplism. It's gonna be some gangsterism next time you get caught doing that. You know what I mean? So let's try to go get you a magazine, because you had a lot of porn magazines floating around in prison at this time. Go get you a magazine and get off or something, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're a man. You gonna do what you gotta do to, you know, release some of that stress being in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? So he like, you gonna get violated. I ain't gonna I really want to just give you a warning, because you're an outstanding member. You know what I mean? You don't really cause no problems. You know what I mean? You work out 3 times a week. You know you're lit. You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do, I'm just give you bed ready, bro. You gotta sit on your bed. Unless we going to eat, unless you going to the bathroom, you can't go to the yard, you can't go to the gym, you can't do none of that for 6 days. I'm saying to myself, now, Dead Eye, you just booked on GD Police about you just booked on GD Police about, you know, you ain't no you a real gangster. You ain't finna let nobody treat you like no little boy. You ain't finna get on no bed rest. You gonna jail like a gangster. But now you here trying to sanction this man on bed rest. This is what I'm saying to myself. I ain't say it out loud, but we went and talked about it after the OD was over with. And he told me, like, bro, you know what I mean? He was like, man, you know, I really learned from that situation with GD Police, bro. And I was like, you know, and he was like, man, you know, all this reading I've been doing and learning, especially, you know, I'm getting into Black history or whatnot. You know what I mean? I just feel like we just need to start showing more love, you know what I mean? And stop beating up on the brothers just for any and everything, you know what I mean? He like, it's 6 points. It's 6 points on the star, bro. One of them points is love, bro. So I just feel like, you know, just want to show the brothers some love. But, you know, I will show some gangsterism if he get out of line again. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, bro, I respect that. But I said, well, you gotta understand though, we are in prison. And if you show too much love, you already know how these people think. I said, we on a good zone, though. We ain't got no crazy brothers over here. You know, brothers ain't really on no nonsense, you know what I mean? They respect your authority. But I said, you just can't be showing too much love because these brothers will take advantage of that. And they'll take advantage of you. And then you'll find yourself in trouble with Big Dog because you ain't ruling with an iron fist. But I respect that, though, Dad. Appreciate that, bro. We did the handshake. All right, bro. I'm about to read me a book. I'll holler at you later. Until the next story, y'all be smooth out here.